You what? Spook priest! Hello.
Hello.
This is take 2
of
of many.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the ZT podcast. So,
it feels different this time.
it does. Something's missing.
Yeah.
I don't know what though. I can't really put my fucking finger on it.
I don't know. It's something. It's ineffable. I can't really. Oh, bear with me. Oh.
Did you really? The window's already open. That
Left out.
in like an hour when we finish this fucking
To be fair,
podcast.
I had a car ride earlier today with my dad and I
Help.
2 servings of stuffing.
Help.
Because I had a meat-free one, so just all the stuff in the car without the meat. So I literally went up like 2 or 3 times just refilled them like potatoes and stuffing and bread and stuff. It was really nice.
I'm just saying, I didn't hear any of what you just said there.
Oh, never mind. I went to a car free and I was like refilling on like because I have a meat-free one.
Yeah.
It literally means I just go up anytime I want and just refill automatically
Oh.
and stuff.
We have a visitor. Do you want to go let in our visitor, Henry?
I don't get paid enough for this.
No, you don't. Oh, 1 second, guys. Let me just zoom out a bit. Nice of you to join us, Otis. Join us on the podcast. Where's your chair?
It's been a long
Get
time.
out!
You're off this show! So, for context, guys, Otis was meant to be here 20 minutes ago for this podcast, and so we thought we'd set up without him, and then we got bored, so we started it. So, and he forgot his fucking chair.
We all really are that professional.
Yeah. We are.
Honestly, it's a miracle I got here on time considering I was having a poo earlier.
Yeah, and your poos take fucking years.
It's mostly like...
Chris, I was gonna be.
Yeah, well... Just get in. Just hurry up. Fucking hell.
Now sit the fuck down.
We're not angry.
We're just disappointed.
Like,
Yeah.
we're just really excited.
Sit down!
We're just really
I was
excited.
like,
I'm not actually trying to be mean, it's just for a bit.
We just really
But, we just really detest all anti-Semites.
I mean, not all of them are bad. Please cut
what?
Please cut that out. Please cut that out.
No, I am not cutting that
I
out.
do not.
That is now something that will be on the internet
I do
forever.
not condone bigotry.
Hello, welcome to the ZT podcast.
In any form.
Okay, so introductions. I am Zachary Tomlin. I'm here with my co-host Henry Watson and Otis Dowd.
Nice to you, Mara.
thank you. It's from Poundland. You got like 8 for a pound.
Oh, how much was it?
Jesus Christ. For the record, I wasn't laughing at his shit joke. I was laughing at the fact that he just coughed up every single organ from his body just there.
I think I've lost a lung.
Yeah, maybe.
Coronavirus. that's a topical.
Quick, let's get our face masks on because they absolutely
tackle
help.
Issues on this podcast. We don't shy away from offending anyone.
No.
I mean, we do.
We have nothing to lose.
And we were never monetised, were we? So
No.
might as well just go all out and, be like a glitch in the algorithm.
We already are.
I mean, like, embrace it.
Oh yeah, no, we always were.
No.
Nice spectacles. Are they decorative or functional?
No, they're functional.
Oh, well, actually.
No.
Oh,
Just focusing the camera, don't mind me.
brilliant.
Cool. So, let's actually talk about the coronavirus because why the fuck not? We've got like 14 minutes till the first commercial.
Brilliant. Okay. It's harmless. It's being sensationalised. If you're under 4 or over 80, you're fucked. Oh yeah. If you're not like your average, I use that term very loosely because it might be a bit problematic. Average human, you'd be in danger.
Saying people under 4 aren't normal. Because average is sort of...
Okay, I'm literally saying...
No.
It's been proven psychologically that children do not develop empathy until they're like 5.
Yeah.
So like... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Also, we don't need any more kids. We've got 7 billion people.
Okay, so the coronavirus death toll says that it's between 233 and 366 so far.
Just to clarify for facts, that the flu, the boring common flu, has already killed more people. Than
that was just the death toll in Italy.
Yeah, but already, worldwide, the flu has already killed more people than the coronavirus.
Hasn't world hunger as well, like since the...
Yeah, so it's been sensationalised. The media, is looking for something to talk about, and it's the one consistent thing that everyone's talking about because people are scared of the Chinese, because, people are inherently racist.
Yeah.
Have you seen the thing that's like, there's every 4 years, or 5 years, whenever the US election is, there's always something?
Yeah.
I saw it on Twitter, and it was like...
Yeah, there is.
So, that's something to think about.
I mean...
It's a pandemic that needs to be fit. It doesn't.
I mean, obviously it's...
You die, you die.
If it mutates, then that would be a bit more troubling, but ultimately you only really die from the flu if you're already quite unhealthy.
Yeah.
Wash your hands, limit non-essential human contact, and just be sanitary.
Also, don't use face masks or hand sanitizers. They are a waste of time and money.
Yeah.
Just saying.
They're antibacterial.
Unless they are actually alcoholic hand sanitizers.
Yeah.
Because obviously.
In which case, neck.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah. That's my excuse why I'm drinking more now, is just to avoid the coronavirus. You see.
I read that article. I sent to my
100 IQ, big brain.
I read that headline. And I was like, my dad would like that. I sent to him on email.
I like that.
And he was like.
You said it on email. Oh.
He doesn't have anything else, so I have to know how to use.
That's so sweet. Though.
So I have to email stuff to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I can't tag him on Facebook. He doesn't have Facebook, so I'll be like, oh fuck it. I'll just copy and paste it into an email and be like, here you go, it's a video. Click on the bit.
That's how they sent memes before social media became a thing.
Okay, Dad, you've worked in IT for 30 years, but I have to explain to you every time. Click on the bit that's blue, and it will take you to the video. And he's like, oh, I get it now. I was like, fucking hell. How did you keep your job? It's a miracle.
By the way, speaking of social media, actually no, we'll save that topic. So we've been away. This has been the first podcast we've recorded in over a month.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We recorded. So we recorded episode 8 and 9 on the same day, and that was near the end of January. We are recording this on the 8th of March now.
So Whammin's Day.
Whammin, yeah.
I respect all whammin.
Yep. So, yay to women.
Yay women.
Yay women.
Females.
The female gender. Hallelujah.
The greater sex.
Can you say?
Can I just
gender, just to clarify.
Can I just fucking talk for a second, please?
It's my podcast, let's face it.
No.
I'm the one ranking in the Benjamins and why.
Excuse me, it's named after me. I edit and record it.
I feature.
I'm the content.
I suppose that's true.
Do go on.
Okay, what the fuck was I saying? I've completely forgotten now.
Sorry, keep going.
So, the reason why we've been away is because my computer completely broke, and I had a couple pre-recorded videos to upload in the meantime, but obviously my computer's fixed, which is why we're here now. Hallelujah! It's not fixed. I'm lying to you all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bad time. It was a dark time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. So computer's broken, fixed now. We're back.
Yeah.
For more podcast that
Back
no one wanted.
And better than ever.
Better.
We are
back.
We're back.
Yeah, we're
back.
And make of that what you will.
Did you miss us? No. Are we here? Yes. Can you stop us? No.
Do we care?
No.
Anything for our egos, really? This is all just one really contrived vanity project.
Yeah, oh my god! Oh my god. Okay, so, also, let's actually talk about the social media topic, because I spent the last week completely void of all social media, apps, and I completely signed out of everything on my laptop as well. Apart from emails and text, that was my only form of communication online to anybody. And it was very liberating. Absolutely, I am so glad that I did it, because I know which social medias affect me negatively and positively now, because I've re-downloaded them all, and I can safely say I don't miss WhatsApp. I don't really miss Facebook. Not really. I miss aspects of Snapchat. Instagram is I don't mind Instagram, but like I don't talk to people directly on there. So it's like the thing is, you don't need to talk to people online as much as you think you do. And as well as that, I feel like it's become like a habit, at least for me, for social media. And I feel like there's so much negativity for social media. I feel like the cons don't weigh out the pros to be on social media as much as we all are these days as a race of Homo sapiens.
I didn't say a race of homosexuals because I just heard homo. I was like,
get your mind out of the gutter!
What are you saying, Grace?
He said homo. We're already there. Zach said gay rights. It's fine.
Zach said gay rights.
I did say gay rights. Big up.
I'm inclined to agree to an extent, in the sense that like I really only use social media for like convenience.
Yeah, I'll definitely only be doing.
If I meet someone new, like I know they'll have some account, so I can add them on somewhere, so I can eventually contact them or share something with them. It's not really for my own benefit. It's purely just so like I can talk to people, so I don't like
get lonely. Yeah,
I get lonely.
No, we all do. We're very social creatures, and
I'm like a dog. I can't be
that's one word
2 hours, otherwise I'll I don't know, shrink into a vortex of misery and darkness. So I drink instead.
So social media.
Mixed bag, definitely.
It is
very
I can safely say after, because I literally signed in onto all of my social medias literally this time yesterday, so I've had a whole day to reflect on that week was important, because I can safely say from now on I will not be using social media anywhere near as much as I have been in the past. I feel way too I felt way too self-conscious about like who messages me and who doesn't, and who posts what when, and now that I've had that time away, I'm like, doesn't mean shit, honestly. Like, and plus, the week that I had wasn't the best weeks anyway. But imagine how much worse that would have been if like the negativity of social media was bogging me down as well. I feel like it can only get better without social media having such a prominent like presence in my life. I feel like the less I have of it, the more healthy I feel mentally.
Yeah.
But
it's a bit of a quagmire really, because it's. I won't speak from my experience, but I'm not sure about you or Zach, but any negative experience I've had on social media has come from like the circles I've been in, really.
Right.
So
okay.
for me, the only issue with social media is whether or not I should remove myself from that like group. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, most of my negative experiences come from like being in like group chats for like fandoms of certain things.
Actually, same. To be honest,
So,
sometimes
in
group
that
chats is
case-
what bogs me down.
Yeah, so in that case, I have just removed myself from that area and just focused on something else, like a different part of the internet, like mainly just memes, but like
You're right there. What are your thoughts on social media? What like because
I use a lot of it.
yeah.
I spend a lot of time online.
I think the thing is that at least not in the time at uni.
Yeah.
Me and Henry have had an experience where we've been void and distant from social media, but I don't think you have yet, because he had time away from his phone got
I
broke.
think it's important to note
And
that
me,
mine was,
obviously just last week, I
mine
had
was
nothing.
not planned, yours was.
Yes.
And I think we should touch on that later.
We'll touch on that later in this podcast. But considering you haven't really had a break from it, what are your views on like on how important it is to you? Like what
Well, I have anxiety, so I find it easier to use social media to tell people things.
Right. No, okay, that's actually a good point to bring up. No, honestly, that's a good point to bring up, because when you want to communicate with someone, you don't have the like the social
Yeah.
like you don't have the confidence to talk to them in person if they're like a new person that you already just met, but you want to be friends with them, you want to talk to them more. I feel like breaking the ice is chatting them online and then getting their humour, getting their sort of like getting where they're at.
Family that I was trying to do at WhatsApp.
Oh.
No, my dad. My dad.
Oh.
So it's just the rest of my
I was about to say, it's like, Mum, Dad,
No,
just turn off your phone, like, I'm not looking at it for like 24 hours.
Like, hey, I'm sorry, it's not you, it's me. I'm transsexual, then like, you drop a minion meme. Like,
Yeah.
No, the sucks to suck meme. The sucks to suck meme. Just send that after you just throw that bombshell on your family.
It sucks to be trans.
No, it sucks
No,
to. It sucks to not be trans.
Depending on your nation of origin, yeah.
Statistically, yes.
But you then like afterwards you like, I'll let that mellow in Cecil, and then you like dropped in like a gif of a minion like. Like, it's Friday. Like that'll tide them over for the weekend, and then they can process it.
No, literally, like when I put it in the chat, like the rest of my family individually messaged me, but no one replied on the actual chat.
Okay, like.
Why would you do that?
I think
no, honestly.
I know. I was like,
okay.
I wanted to tell everyone at the same time.
Can I talk about this in 3 minutes? Yeah. Okay. So quick. You know, honestly, so I find it infuriating when. Okay, so I won't say any specific scenarios, but like you're on a group chat, like a friend group chat, for example, and you have an issue with someone, or someone has an issue, and they bring it up as like, I don't like this, blah 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 blah. How do we deal with it as a group? Then like one person from that group chat messages you privately saying their opinion on it, and it's like, this was a discussion that I brought to this ensemble of people. Yeah. This wasn't a private discussion between one or two people. You know what I mean? I feel
it should be more like a sounding board.
It's like really frustrating.
Yeah,
like,
I saw a meme that. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say it's gonna be like a group discussion. Clearly, like it's more like
it's
a collaborative
infuriating.
Group chat. If you wanted to tell people individually, you put it.
Then you would message them privately if it's an issue that concerns the whole group in context.
But you'll want
then you should get. Then everybody should respond on the place where you brought up the issue. It just irritates me. Because I've had that so many times. Like, Zach, yeah, like, ain't that right? That's a real issue. There's like, okay, go back on the group chat and say that, please. It just feels. I don't know if it feels like deceitful or it just feels like very odd.
Like someone's whispering, but like over.
Okay.
Yeah,
it feels like
when
it's the same. Like I'm saying to you two, it's like, oh wow, guys, there's an issue with this podcast. It sucks. And then I say secretly to Henry, Otis, it really sucks to be on the podcast. We need to get rid of him.
It's like when you're in a group of people and you have an inside joke about one of the people there, and then you make that joke, and then
welcome back to bullying Otis.
I've been really good at this podcast, I think.
Yeah.
The main, like, I guess another equivalent would be like, you know, when like you're in a group of like 5 or 6 more people, and you've got like an inside joke about one of the people in there. Like, it's not like bullying; it's like a harmless kind of like, little, like, oh yeah. Like. It's like when you make a reference to that joke and you like share a look with the people in the group, like, yeah, I see what you did. Yeah. It's the equivalent to that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's that similar like effect, not that similar process, but it's I kind of get what you mean in the sense that like if you air something publicly, you're clearly wanting multiple perspectives.
You want a discussion with everybody.
Possible solution or idea or
you don't want a bunch of different
DMs.
So a bunch of different opinions that clash just for you to be the one that gets the brunt of it.
You don't have to directly respond to that. If it's in a group chat, you don't have to.
You don't have to carry all of that issue. You can open it up to the whole group. You can talk about it as a proper. It's so dumb.
You still what I do, like linger in group chats. I just like lurk, and then when it gets funny, I'll be like, yeah, I'll put some news in there.
That's great. When there's drama on a group chat, I just kind of put it on like do not disturb, like notifications off, and then when I start seeing them sending memes to each other again on the group, I was like, okay, that's chill. Yeah, that's exactly it.
See, I like the drama.
I like watching it, but ultimately, if I ever mention, I'm just like, I'm fucking sending a meme in like 2 hours.
Yeah,
like a really offensive one.
Yeah. All right, so that will move on to our first commercial break. So,
because I need a piss.
Oh, for fuck. Okay. Yeah, one job. Okay.
Are we on the break officially?
We are on the break officially. Huh?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I hope he's not taking a shit.
Hope that's not a shit.
Rest in peace, my toilet. Oh my god. Henry, guess what?
What?
I just got the greatest app ever.
Wowza! What is it?
It's Google.
Far out. What does it do? Where can I get it? How much is it?
Shh. It's free, and it does everything.
Terms and conditions apply. Google is not responsible for any harm caused to any customers. Disclaimer: Google does not sponsor the ZT podcast.
Why'd you turn off, you motherfucker?
Oh dear. Bastards.
And welcome back from that commercial break. So, do you want to continue talking about social media, or do you want to move on to a different topic?
We can move on naturally.
Yeah, we can segue as we do.
But can we?
Oh, just shut up.
Oh, don't be that guy. Oh, I don't. Can I go to the toilet? Oh, I don't know. Can you go to the toilet? Yes, we will segue.
Okay.
I'm an English student. I don't care about that shit anymore. As long as you know the difference between your and your, I'm happy. Oh, speaking of which.
Stop! Fucking farting!
I had a carver.
That's not an excuse. Save them for when the podcast is over. We are stuck in this room for another half an hour.
I had 3 helpings of stuffing. But I don't have any meat, so I had to make up with it with something.
I'm firing both of you.
What? We're not employed! We don't have a contract! We don't get paid! We can't be fired!
What did I do?
You were late to this podcast.
I was changing my bank for free money.
To be fair, you were late. It's not really our problem,
To be
is
fair,
it?
that is my camera. So, I've got half the equipment, so...
But you're only a third of the overall product.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that.
That's
Oh my god. Okay.
fine.
Yeah, more like just AIDS. That's what I'd call this.
It's just a thing that is. This is a thing that exists, this podcast. It's kind of cursed, but it's a good kind of
Oh,
cursed.
yeah, it's
Because we
very
do
cursed.
chat, we do, occasionally we'll have actually, like, meaningful conversations.
Not right now, we don't. But
Very early we did, like, the first, like, 4 before
that's what we were like. What is life? Like,
We're
you know.
And then
what
I
is
joined.
a story?
Yeah, you did join. Why did it go wrong? We know now. The truth has been revealed.
I personally blame... I'm not gonna... Actually, never mind, I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
Okay. I'm glad you're not going to finish that sentence.
I would have said something very
Let's hear it.
unsavory. No, that's
No,
good.
let's hear it. Come on,
Let's hear it.
seriously, let's hear it. Come on.
I was going to blame the death of Lady Diana Spencer. But she's been dead for about 20 years now.
And that affects the ZT podcast how?
Well, the world changed after 9/11, Zach. Different topic, but...
So-
Are you saying you support 9/11?
And using that segue, we're going to talk about 9/11. Oh my god. Okay. Right. So.
Well, that
so
is a
how do we
that is
segue
a-
back to social media?
that- well,
now?
actually,
Like-
yeah. Okay. Big brain time.
Oh my god.
9/11 is an excellent example of sensationalizing an event into something bigger than it is, which is something social media is also capable of, and you know, guilty of. I think
Yeah.
everything in social media is like the tiniest transgression is multiplied by like 1 million to be like the biggest one thing. Like if it's like in the top 5 trending things on Twitter, it's a serious thing to worry about. Like
Actually, that's
Woody
true,
Allen,
isn't it?
Woody Allen was trending because his memoirs been dropped by his publisher. But like people have known Woody Allen's a bag of shit for like
Yeah.
like what 20 years.
Yeah.
Like I've made like my thoughts on Woody Allen are quite negative. But like my point being is that much like the media, social media has this tendency to over dramatize and if I turn like exaggerate.
Oh yeah, like
certain
exacerbate
thing-
and
yeah, like situations and like concepts and arguments and debates into this weird, like essentially where everything becomes rhetoric, and by that I mean everything becomes like inflammatory language, or everything becomes overly passionate, or like just, a lot of people make a lot of sweeping
social media is
statements.
full of a bunch of fucking drama queens. Putting it simply.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah, to put it in less elegant
Philosophical
terms.
terms, yeah. But yeah, I think like I say, I feel like positives of like social media is that you do feel more connected with people.
Yeah, like, I can literally
beyond the physical sense, which is good. It's like you you get to continue the conversations online, which is a good in theory, but it also that leads to a lot of toxicity because people have no filter when they talk via messages. Mostly, they often because they're not face to face with someone, they feel a lot.
Yeah.
The stuff I've said to you on Messenger.
Actually, can I show you these on the podcast? Because you've sent some pretty interesting memes on Snapchat.
Nope. Oh.
You absolute fucking cuck. I hate you.
I can't stop it. It's a natural process. It's natural.
No, it's not. Boys don't fight.
Actually, no. Okay,
I'm barely a boy. Anatomically,
okay. I'm not showing the podcast your memes.
Yeah, my memes will get taken down. Some of my memes are
No, I'm not showing this podcast your memes. The viewers don't deserve that.
That's the main thing I was worried about when my phone was being repaired.
Okay,
they access my gallery and my email folder and find the memes I've got, and then I'm like, Scotland Yard would have my name on a list for some of these memes.
Oh no.
Because they're just very offensive. Like some of the memes I send you aren't even all the ones I have. I've got like worse stuff on my phone.
Oh God, I mean,
it's funny though, isn't it?
Oh no,
it's just a meme.
I can't deny memes are funny, but you know,
But
the thing is, that proves my point. There is like no filter when it's online. Mostly, people often are very brass, very just they speak their mind a hell of a lot more than they do in person. Because whereas in person they're a lot more reserved, they think a lot more about the consequences. Because, like I say, they're in the real world. They're not talking virtually to
they're
someone.
They're speaking face to face to a person.
Whereas if they're talking to when typing on a screen, it doesn't seem like as much as like human interaction. Which I suppose kind of removes the filter.
I think it's because there's a physical element to that, like a physical element to this. Because if you were to like insult someone like, "Oh hey, you're a twat," and that person is like 6'3" and 200 pounds, you're not going to say that to their face in person.
But mind you, if you knew their height and you were talking to them over message, I wouldn't do that either.
Well, my thing would, I'm not saying I do, but like I still hypothetically would, because they have no conceivable way of harming me right then. Or
it depends what your relationship with this person is, though. Because if
total stranger, they're like, you're a twat.
Yeah. But if there's someone that you know from like a circle of friends that you have, or like a family member, or
that's different, because that's like that takes out like anonymity out of the question, because you know that person and they know you.
Yeah.
But if it's a complete not like a complete stranger, like,
I'm sorry.
No.
You should be.
Go on.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say about social
media?
Go
ahead, please.
Yeah, it's good for politics because.
Oh God, no, not politics.
Yeah, let's talk about politics, guys.
Politics on the podcast, please.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's open that can of worms. Oh,
Don't forget to register for the primaries in America. Vote Bernie.
Yeah, don't vote Elizabeth Warren. She was busy making TikToks.
The SNL one.
Yeah, instead of like actually like campaigning in Michigan. But anyway, don't worry, she's got a plan for that. And by plan she means she'll get round to it by doing nothing in 3 years' time. But I don't want to get political on the podcast. Especially about American politics, because I can never run American politics unless everyone in my country gets really cool about a lot of stuff very quickly. But
so social media, am I right?
But the politics angle is something interesting to consider when talking about social media.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, because Trump's Twitter is cursed to the nth degree. But
infamous, like I'd say world famous Twitter account. Probably the most like notable one in the world currently is the president's Twitter account.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially it should be, but also it shouldn't be because it's Trump.
It shouldn't be because he should be running a country.
Yeah.
Instead, he's on golf courses tweeting about how much he doesn't like brown people.
Yeah,
that's not rhetoric. That's just straight up true.
Look
at his account.
No, it is honestly true. I just scoffed because of the way you worded it, but obviously.
But like politicians aside, because politicians will post especially like right wing especially
start that sentence again.
Right wing politicians like conservatives will post a lot of like weirdly detached cringy stuff on social media to create the illusion that they're one of the common people.
Yeah.
Like Jacob Rees Mogg with his tweet about, I think it was Pringles or something recently. He's like, I'm a Pringles man. It's like, you don't eat crisps, you don't buy from the shops, you like order from Waitrose and I guess to your house. But like, politicians aside, like expressing a political opinion on social media now, it could be the most progressive opinion. Well, not most progressive. That's a strange way to phrase it. But like, you could say something like, "Oh, hey, like, gay people are human. They should be allowed to get married." And all of a sudden, like that, you've got this fucking like.
You've got this ensemble of just people following.
Storm of people being like, "Well, actually, I think you're wrong because the Bible says this," and well, actually, I personally just don't feel comfortable with, men touching men or whatever. It's like
it's all done. I mean, the thing is people are all entitled to their own opinions unless the opinion's wrong.
I mean,
no. In all seriousness, though, people are entitled to their opinion. There's a difference between having your own opinion and throwing it in someone else's face, being like, "No, I'm correct, and this is why."
Yeah. The one thing that's emerged on social media recently with politics is this, like, you see it a lot with like white male comedians in their 40s going like, "Oh, lack of free speech, can't say anything." You can say anything, but at the same time, you can and will be criticised for it.
Yeah.
That's literally
you need to be ready for that criticism.
That is freedom of speech in action.
Yeah.
It's not one-sided for you.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to make a joke about, I don't know,
edgy comedy is edgy comedy, and I appreciate it, but they can't be void of the law.
Yeah, you need
not the
to
law, the social hierarchy, like the backlash.
Yeah. It's like you can make a joke about anything as long as it's like. As long as you're willing, even if it isn't funny, as long as you're willing to accept the fact that people will take an issue with it, because that is freedom of speech in action. Not you just being like, "Oh, I want to say I hate gay people" or something. Like, that's not freedom. It is freedom of speech, but also at the same time, another person going, "Hey, I don't think that's a cool thing to say." That is freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Speech is not a singular thing. It's not a solitary act. Speech is always with multiple people.
Yeah.
Like, you need to accept there's going to be input and backlash and, like, in some cases praise or, negativity. There's always going to be, it's always a collaborative, like, multi-person, like, process. Like, it's why, like, I don't follow Ricky Gervais on Twitter anymore, because half of his tweets are just like, "Oh, I can't make jokes about Caitlyn Jenner anymore." It's like, you can, but you need to accept that. You need to accept that, like,
you need to accept that those jokes aren't something that people were going to take lightly.
Yeah, not everyone's going to find it funny. If they do find it funny, they're going to be like, "Hey, this is funny, but just so you know,
tone it back a bit."
Maybe don't just say outright say things that are harmful.
Yeah.
Like when actual
be prepared for the effect you're going to.
The Grammys, Golden Globes. Like, that's genuinely hateful.
Yeah.
That's like genuinely hateful. Just don't do that. That's not funny.
No.
That's a deliberately malicious thing to do. If it's funny, then I don't have a problem with any joke on any subject.
Yeah.
I accept that it's a controversial subject or something, but like at the same time, I acknowledge it's a joke. But also, I realise, hey, talk about those kind of things is dicey. If they're okay with that and they're okay with the backlash,
they need to accept the risk when they make these jokes. They can't just be. It's not fair that comedians don't get to say what they like anymore.
They can.
That's it. They can
very much can.
But they have to be ready to accept the fact that people are snowflakes and other people actually get offended about. Like, they need to tread the line. They can't. They need to.
I think they just need to face it and just be like, "Yeah, I made this joke. You might not find it funny, but some people find it funny. I don't, personally believe this or something." Just some acknowledgement of the fact, like, yeah, this is a grey area, but like, I acknowledge that this kind of stuff is hateful. It's not meant to be hateful. And honestly, just
if there was like a level of like education, like not to be like, but like if it's like a trans issue, like a lot of like comedies to do with like, oh haha, trannies,
men with dicks, women with dicks. Sorry, men with dicks. It's quite
men with dicks.
That's quite
trannies.
Common. That's quite common, actually. Men with penises.
Is it?
I mean, not in my situation, but yeah.
I'm
like a Ken doll. There's just nothing, just smoothness, nothing.
Thanks for that image, Henry. Right, what were you gonna say?
Sorry.
It's not okay. But yeah, it's just if like someone actually respects that community, and then like there has to be some sort of like if you're like in the same way if you're talking to a friend and if you're close to them, you can make a joke about something that's personal to them.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't say that to a stranger because that would be fucking weird.
Yeah.
But if you say that to an entire community where it's like a really sensitive sort of like topic and like with mental health statistics and everything, do you know what I mean? Like, there has to be some level of like, don't be a dickhead.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing. It's just like, they need to accept they're accountable for what they say now.
Yeah.
It's not the 70s when you can literally say anything and get away
Yeah.
with it.
No.
You need to accept that now because everyone can voice their opinion. More people can. Because, like, I'm going to use comics, like, I'm just going to, not going to, like, diverge, but I'm just going to use, like, the realm of experience that I have, which is comics, like...
We've got 3 minutes.
Okay, very quickly. In comics, if there was a storyline you didn't like, you could write a letter to the offices and be like, I don't like this, maybe you should change it. And then they'd be like, oh, thank you for reading, dear reader, or whatever. And they'd be like, we're not sure. And you'd get maybe, like, 50-ish, like 50 letters in the comic published. Whereas in reality now, the same amount of people were offended then as they are now. It's just now because it's so much easier to get a Twitter account than it is to fucking write a letter, fold it up, write the address down and then post it. Because everyone now has the access to this public, like, sounding board, it's obviously a lot easier to measure a reaction to something and to gauge that.
Yeah.
And so I think that is something that we take into account. Because in the 70s, you used to say that people weren't offended by those jokes then.
Yeah.
It's just that now, because there's a wider voice for people who didn't have voices previously, accountability is something that really should be considered when making that kind of joke.
Yeah.
Like, Always in Philadelphia, they have an episode where a character blacks up, and they at no point are like, and they acknowledge like this is messed up, but it's for the purpose of comedy, it's for like shock value, and like we acknowledge this is a bad thing, and they faced backlash for that, and they were like, that's totally fair, but you know, so that is I think freedom. I'm not like condoning that kind of action, like blacking up, but like that process of we did this thing, you said no, we're acknowledging it's not okay.
Yeah.
That process itself, that 1, 2, 3, that's important, and that's something I think is being forgotten or at least neglected in a public social media like area. I guess it's a terrible example, but like my point being is that it needs to be a back and forth.
Yeah.
It's all very one-sided on both sides, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. It needs to be like a conversation. It can't be one opinionated bastard.
And that's the politics section.
Yes. Bye guys, see you after the break.
Yeah.
Henry!
Yeah?
You won't believe this. Look at this shit. The people who watch our podcast, some of them aren't even subscribed.
Fuck.
I can't fucking believe this! Ah! You motherfuckers. You'd better fucking subscribe.
I'll fucking batter your dad.
If you know what's good for you, you're gonna subscribe! Ah!
Fucking missed cocaine.
I'm welcome back from my commercial break. You need to be careful what you say, Henry.
I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna get arrested. I'm going to get arrested.
Okay, so, by the way, I do actually want to quickly point out, for people, if there's anybody wondering why we have to have, why I'm so anal about making sure we get to the break before the...
Anal.
Get your man out of the gutter!
In the bumhole.
So the reason why... The reason why the 20-minute marker for the commercial break is so important is because Otis's camera has 20 minutes before it turns off the
Your
recording.
finger's like in the entire frame, like
Yes.
your filthy
so-
pig sausage finger.
So if you're annoyed that the commercial breaks are so frequent, it's because blame Otis's camera.
Your camera cuts out after half an hour, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
30 minutes. Yours
That's
is 20
10
minutes. That your camera adds an extra like 2 adverts per podcast.
Okay.
Anyway, so what else do you want to talk about on this podcast? Do you want to continue with social media, or do you want to segue?
I'm not fussed.
Alright.
So on social media,
Yeah.
OnlyFans is present, and you should all follow me.
Just have OnlyFans account.
We'll talk about that after.
Oh god.
The link will be in the description.
No, it won't.
You really won't.
Are you not promoting my business?
No, of course
So
not.
they're on with
I'll
sex
do that.
work. It's just that, like, it's a bit inappropriate because you're
Because I'm a tranny.
17, aren't you?
I'm 19.
Oh.
You can't go to uni if you're 17.
I was about to
That's
say,
not
why
true.
did you?
Well, you can, but like you'd have to get really good GCSEs, and
Oh.
then you have to like, yeah.
Oh.
I don't think you can be in a.
I thought you were a lot younger.
That's just my face.
Yeah, that's true. I got a deed at a cinema the other day.
Oh.
I still get ID.
I got a
most of
deed
the
for a
time.
15.
It sucks.
Ah.
It went
Wait, you got ID at a film?
a
What
15.
film was it? A 50?
Oh, I can't remember. It was a while
That's
ago.
rough, buddy.
It was it chapter 2. I was.
Still haven't watched
I'd
that.
have been 19 at the time.
Oh, that's a bit peak.
A bit peak.
Fuck off. My voice is breaking.
It was a little bit depressing, not gonna lie.
Talking about
Welcome to the ZT podcast.
Like, turn the lights down a bit. We can't, but like, we did the lights a bit. Hello again. Welcome back to Rainy Day Antiques from Headspace.
Oh god.
You know, you get that ad from Headspace?
Yeah, it's like,
Hello again. Hello again. Welcome back to Rainy Day Antiques. We're so glad you could join us again today. I could do SMR. I reckon I could. Thanks,
that was just unnecessary.
just
I know.
not, just not called for.
I know.
Not
But I
appropriate.
did it anyway.
Not appropriate. Anyone catch the Devils game last night? They beat the Rangers.
Yeah, they did.
No, none of you watch hockey, do you? Just me.
Don't watch any sport.
That's the only sport I watch, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
None of you, no.
No.
Well, it was 6-4, I think.
Oh, that's good. Good for them.
Playing against the Maple Leafs on the 17th, so...
Oh, yeah.
What is this bit? Oh my god, what is this?
It's not a bit, I genuinely, like, I watch hockey.
Oh shoot, okay. Well, I apologise for offending you.
That's alright.
Not.
No, it's fine.
You can go suck a fat. Welcome to the CT podcast.
What were you going to say? I think he was going to be homophobic.
I reckon he was, yeah.
Yeah. I like sensed that.
He's got a look in his eye. I go gay bashing every Friday in Soho look. with a baseball bat with a rusty nail in the end. Hypothetical.
No comment.
Awesome, I've heard.
How did you know?
Oh my god.
You like
All
set a spy
reliable.
drone after me.
I actually do have a drone.
what you do?
I like a proper drone. It's like one of the remote control
Oh,
ones. It's got like a range of like
I see,
half a
one of
mile.
those.
Shit. Well, it's not shit. It's pretty fun, but like my cat hates it. I fly it in the garden. He like jumps up to catch it.
That's
There's
cool.
so many like customers and my cat being like,
What is that shit?
like fucking King Kong looking that shit out in the
Yeah.
sky.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Speaking of shit.
Welcome back to the ZT podcast. I'm only pulling your foot.
Get the fuck off my foot. Get the fuck off me. There's a reason why I go gay bashing. It's only fair that I don't censor that because I don't censor anything you two say.
That's true.
So, yeah. This is all a bit, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
This is all satire. but
He doesn't gay bash, to my knowledge.
I'm just
Not
homophobic.
openly.
I feel sad. Can I go home? I just feel sad.
Yeah. Congratulations if you made it this far in the video. You clearly have no self-preservation left.
This is to you, drunk Henry at 4 a.m.
Refreshing the page to give me the 100 views.
When you feel sad and like, I need an ego boost. Watch yourself on Zach's
Jesus Christ.
No, I watch it regularly as well. But sometimes I'll be like, I'm fucking tired. I'll watch a vlog and I'll put on your vlogs. I'm like, oh yeah, fun.
Oh shit! Also, we okay. Oh fuck! I have the firecrackers. No, we're at double digits for the podcast. I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
we're at number 10.
Oh shit!
We made it to 10. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we did.
Hell yeah! That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So next topic.
Here's to at least 10 more.
Here's to at least one more.
Yeah.
Speaking of gay people,
What the fuck was that segue?
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, that was you that time.
What? No.
Oh, okay. Because you stopped talking, then I heard a.
It had to do with-
Fuck's sake, Henry.
I'm so sorry.
Stop fucking trumping in my room. We still have mind you.
Stop trumping in my room. Stop trumping in my chambers, please. Mother will be so upset.
Oh dear.
Honestly, to be fair,
Why are you the way that you are?
Oh, I don't fucking know. Emotional trauma, trust issues, and alcoholism.
The exact same reasons why I'm gay.
So you're saying it is a choice? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm choosing.
Oh dear. Can't believe you'd say that on the podcast.
Yeah, it is a bit controversial, but I do feel that as a homosexual,
Otis said homo.
How could you? If there was any hope of this podcast ever getting a sponsor, that was snuffed out in this one.
because I just came out, and that's the world we live in.
And I just came. That's the world you two live in. I didn't really.
Is that window wide enough for me to jump out of right now?
I didn't really. I'm just really dying for another piss. I should have gone.
For fuck's
I should have gone the ad break.
Well, you got 11 minutes.
Fuck.
Hold in that fucking piss.
If you piss yourself,
It'll be good content.
it will be really good.
I haven't pissed myself in 15 years.
I haven't pissed myself for a good week. I'm joking.
A good week. Oh, that makes me feel so sad. Oh, a good week so I don't piss my pants. Brilliant.
Yeah, I have a board in my room of days without pissing.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, I thought you meant you get
Dear
bored.
diary,
Oh.
today I didn't soil my pants.
I thought
I
you
was happy about that.
I thought you said that you get bored, so you're like, oh, fucking slow night. I piss myself again. For a treat.
That'll liven up the party. Jesus Christ.
Oh no! I'm gonna do
What a
shame! Gotta go outside. Yeah.
Oh my god.
In many ways, piss.
It's very much like being gay.
I was about to say something like that. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Because there's a certain rhythm when you piss. And there's a rhythm to the gay community because it's held together.
By gay people's bones. Crushed into a fine, homogeneous paste to act as a binding agent.
For the cis heterosexual.
Nope. Exactly.
Oh my god.
Like Zach.
So homophobic.
And probably Henry. Never
I-
asked.
I'm not very homophobic. It's quite hard for me to be homophobic. Honestly, your toilet's making it worse. I'm dying for a piss, please.
Okay, so context to that comment. We can stretch this out. It's fine. So, Res Life sucks. The people who are supposed to be helping us. Actually, no, they fixed my door. That's
They
good.
fixed
They
my
fixed
door,
it.
yeah.
Your door was broken.
Well, no. So when I used to flash my ID card, on the door, it used to flash red, 5 or 6 times before then going green and then opening. Ordinarily, you'd press it and it goes green immediately, and it goes, "You're allowed in now, Zach." I'm like, "That's great," but no, for like a good 3 or 4 months, it's been flash red, flash red, flash red. Now it's open, but then 2 randos just came to my room like 2 minutes before my lesson, and they were like, "Hey, you got a minute?" I'm like, "I'm going to class," but it's like, "Well, it won't take 2 minutes." So they just open my door and then just start working on it. It's like, "All right, fix now. What'd you fix?" Like, "Oh, the locking mechanism." I'm like, "Oh." So I just check it. It's like, what a legend. But that's the only thing that they've been productive with. Oh yeah, and then the toilet, which is why I brought up this fucking topic.
I'm dying. Please let me go.
No.
It'll be really good content.
It'll be really good content. Just piss yourself,
It
Henry.
really hurts.
It'll make this podcast worth it.
I'm holding it in.
And so the toilet has been automatically flushing non-stop 24 hours a day, and it wakes me up at night when I'm asleep, and it makes me go to the toilet more often than I should because of the sound of running water. And
You should.
well, no, ordinarily you like take a piss once every 2 hours, but like
Statistic.
what's shut the
Oh,
fuck up!
I don't know how. I literally.
Jesus
Where
Christ!
does your research come from? Do you type in like
From my own fucking like schedule.
schedule?
I have schedules at precisely 2:05. I will go to the toilet and take a shit. So no,
At 2:05 minutes 33, I'll piss for exactly 17
So on
seconds.
Henry's schedule is I'm going to go to the toilet at 12 and come out at fucking 1.
To be fair, half of it's wiping. Most of the time, I'm just on my phone, really. Like, my poo's over in 10 minutes, but I'm just on my phone fucking around on Instagram looking for memes.
So yeah, my toilet just flushes, and I spoke to Reslav about it. So yeah, the toilet.
It's actually maddening to listen to it constantly, especially when
I have to live with that toilet right next door to my bed.
Especially when I have to go to the toilet right now.
Isn't that just a shame though?
It burns
Good.
my soul.
Good. I'm glad. You deserve every ounce of pain you've
I didn't
got.
do jack shit to deserve that. I've had a really rough week.
You still have 6 minutes, so
Oh.
so let's continue talking about the sound of running water. Don't you just love the sound of running water, Otis?
No, but I do love the sound of running.
No, but,
Yeah,
Oh, you're such a fucking fitness rat, aren't you?
no, but the sound of it's so calming and it's so
Sort of like being gay.
like just imagine
It makes sense.
like a waterfall. Like right now, in your mind, just envision envision a waterfall.
Oh, I need to.
I knew I'd break him. That was fun. Welcome to the Zach and Otis show.
It's happening.
Oh, I can hear his stream. That's fun. That's fun.
His stream.
Yeah, his stream.
The stream of pit.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone say that.
You've never? Okay. Well, that must be just you.
Can you say that?
So how are you doing, Otis? What are your thoughts on social media?
I think it's okay.
You think it's okay?
It's fine.
You think it's fine? Tell us more.
So, my mouth is really dry. So don't zoom in. I think you just zoomed in.
No, I didn't zoom in. What are you on about?
Mm-hmm.
I'll zoom back out. It's fine, honestly. There you go. I'm zoomed out now. I genuinely did zoom out. You can check the footage afterwards.
Okay. I looked in the reflective window.
You sly dog. So, social media.
Sly dog.
Social media?
I thought you were going to say slut or something. Sly dog.
You guys suck.
I know. And you swallow.
Huh.
I love that pity laugh there. Thanks,
I
Otis.
feel so much better. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
glad.
Speaking
I
of-
spilled a bit.
Huh?
I splashed a bit.
You motherfucker.
No, I didn't.
You better fucking
I didn't.
clean that
I
shit
didn't.
up.
I didn't. Speaking of... go on.
So,
Go on.
um,
Don't let me interrupt you.
no, it's fine. I'm just having to think of how to.
So that'll conclude this week's episode of the ZT podcast. We're about out of time for this one. So,
actually?
Yeah, we've got like 3 minutes. Let's just cut it short. Let's kill it with fire.
So,
So,
you're gay.
So, Thanks for
Sometimes
watching.
It really hurts, but if you just push through it,
push
What
through
the
the
fuck?
reflex.
What are we even talking about
if you just take a
now?
couple poppers, you'll be alright.
If you put your hand like that and put.
Oh.
Oh, did you see it on Twitter? It works. No, I do. No.
That was a friend of mine. CT podcast.
Goodbye, everybody. This will
He's
be.
doing this because he's homophobic and he doesn't like it.
Goodbye, and thanks for all the fish.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's a Douglas Adams reference.
Okay.
Straight
I'm glad.
people don't swallow. And that's fine. It's okay to be straight. I feel like you're gonna stop the.
Where's the straight pride parade?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's not fair!
Me sound like it's a fucking dude from Phantom Menace.
What, Jar Jar?
No, Boss Nass.
Yeah, don't you know?
You haven't seen them, have you? Neither of you.
I've not
You're
seen the
hardly- You're
prequels.
hardly ever to fucking critique Zack.
Are you saying Lex and go?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Might as well. Anyway,
Anyway.
ZT podcast kindly tolerated by Zach and ruined by me and Otis. Although we did actually touch
Thank
on
you
some.
for summing that up perfectly.
Although we did actually make some decent points, I think. Like we had a decent
Somewhere in there.
We had a semi-decent conversation about social media, and I think
Then
you
I
know
ruined it.
As you always do.
you're a bit of a home wrecker, aren't you?
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Oh!
Don't touch me.
Destruction 100.
But yeah, actually, I do think we actually made some decent points this episode. And
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Somewhere in there.
That was decent.
most of all, we all had fun.
Did we?
I had fun.
And that's all that matters.
Is that Henry has fun.
Okay. But yeah, we'll see you next time for episode 11.
Yeah. If I
Second.
don't shoot myself before then.
Second double digits. Exciting.
Oh, yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
1-1 as well. We should do something themed like that. We should play dominoes or something. Or perhaps a game of Boggle.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone.
But yeah, see you in episode 11.
Goodbye.
Topic undecided.
Goodbye.
Kisses.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, have a beautiful day.
Broadway.